Hey everyone, thank you very much for watching my brand new video. Today we're going to be looking at sway bars and links. Again, I'm doing this on my car, which is a Grand Prix, but it does work technically on any car. Any car that has the same type of setup. Some cars, especially even the newer ones, are a little different. We're going to get right to it now. Before I do, I just want to remind you, don't forget to like and subscribe. That lets me know you guys like what I'm doing. But other than that, let's get right to it. So when you're checking your sway bar or really in your stabilizer links or any sort of components like that, you are going to be wanting to look for any sort of noise. So that's the first thing you're kind of looking for when you're driving. You always want to drive test your car when you're checking any suspension components if possible, because it does give you a pretty good indication of what's going on within your car. So if you're driving along, for example, and you're hearing a lot of clunking noises, that's a pretty good indication that it could be your stabilizer bar. Now, it could actually be a few other things. It could be your control arm or part of your strut assembly or something, but it could also be the stabilizer bar. But normally it's the different sounds, and this, of course, is with years of experience you kind of pick up on it. But for example, if you have typically, this is not a science here, but if you have your stabilizer bar has gone bad, let's say your link is broken, as you're driving, it's going to make very thin, like clinking sort of noises. Control arms a little heavier noise, same with struts. So you kind of learn to hear them out. Aside from that, you also want to feel your car itself. Now, if you're driving along and you jostle the wheel, so you have the steering wheel and you kind of turn it side to side. So of course, make sure you're being safe and you're in a safe area. Make sure maybe a parking lot is best, and then you want to take the steering wheel and you want to turn. Now, if you look through the back window right over there, you'll see I'm turning the car right now, and there's response. Now, if there's no response, again, there could be a couple other things. For example, something in your tie rod or rack and pinion assembly, but the stabilizer could be a part of that too. Aside from that, you could even be looking at how the car handles. If you're driving the car and there is a discernible feel in the wheels and that they want to go in its own direction, part of the stabilizer bar and the links is what keeps the wheels together. So the steering is stabilized. Again, it goes into with the tie rod and rack and pinion assembly, but it helps keep everything in check within the suspension of the car itself. Now, if that's starting to feel and it feels like the wheels are, maybe you're accelerating a side feels like it's accelerating differently or it's not connected in the same way, this may be a good indication that you may have some problems. So between doing all that, listening for the noise, you're jostling when you do the steering wheel or anything like that, that's a pretty good indication that you should get it under there and take a look. For the next series of tests, we're actually going to be looking underneath the car. You have to jack up the car and remove the wheels. We got to check both sides, because just because there's wear on one side doesn't mean there's wear on the other. But before we go ahead, I just want to stress, make sure safety first. You guys are jacking the car up properly. In this case here, you can see I have two jack stands and my jack all supporting the car. I've also put a wood down. If you have asphalt driveway or anything, having all the weight on the car, most of the weight right now is on the jack stands, will cause it to sink in. So this, of course, is just the measure I take to help balance that out. So that's what I recommend. Make sure safety first. You guys are jacking the car properly. So after some of your driving tests with your stabilizer bar, you're coming here to visually inspect it, because you still want to know what's happening. Now, if you have the older, like the 03 and before Grand Prix, or I believe they changed it back in 06 or 07, don't quote me on that though, then you have actually where the stabilizer bar kind of curves upward a bit, and it connects directly to the control arm. Whereas if you have the 04s and 05s, and I think some 06s, I can't remember, the sway bar is actually linked here to the strut itself. So again, you're just checking here to make sure that the bushings are all good. You know, you got like some rubber bushings here. You're gonna have it down here as well. You're making sure those are all good. The bolts, nothing's broken, seized, or ripped off. Everything's all attached quite well. You're also going to check the bar itself. You're going to check these mounts here and make sure that they're in good condition, that there's no damage or breaks or anything there, and that the rubber bushings all look good. no cracks, damage, rips. It could be missing, fall out over time, anything like that you're looking for. And you're going to do a visual check on the bar, and it's really hard to do from one side. As you can see, you can only see up to a certain point. So you're going to check, and you may actually want to go underneath the car. And you're just going to check and make sure there's no breaks in the bar itself. Although rare, they can break from time to time. So you're going to want to do a quick look over with that. Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope this video has been very helpful for you in checking some of your suspension components. Before I close off, I just want to again exercise to be cautious and be careful when you're dropping your car. Make sure you've cleared all tools from in the area. Make sure it's all looking all clear. Wheels are on and secured. You've also jacked up the car, removed the jack stands and anything, for example, the wood I have here, and then you'll drop the car down and then torque your wheels to specification. Make sure you do that and be safe when you're checking your car. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next video.